a bit at this point, but like, have you seen Sam Sherman had Derrick Henry in his BBM pod?
I did see that. Yeah, he cooked.
I'm rooting for him, man.
Yeah, good luck to him. He had he got 2 teams to the final, which is really impressive. But
a 57 drafted.
Yeah, crazy. Anyways, What is going on, fellas? It is week 17. It is a glorious morning because Amari and Hampton dropped 20.5 PPR points in my league scoring format in my home league. So I am currently projected 60% to win. We know how projections go. Things can change pretty quickly, but off to a good start with my first player having played. I have half the amount of points as Lucas, and I just had Amari and Hampton, and he had Dak Prescott, Justin Jefferson, and Terry McLaurin. So you feel pretty good about getting half those points when one of his players was a quarterback as well, who was the one who carried all the points pretty much.
For sure. Also, the jingle from the offseason was actually
big dog in the frozen tundra, man. That was the key. I think a lot of people were fading Henry because of the obvious, like, oh, he's old, he could wear down, lots of touches, all that kind of stuff. But I think this was the first year that I truly did not fade Derrick Henry. Like, this was the first year where I was actually, I think, above market on. I think a 9-10% of him.
I even had a decent bit of him. And if you remember what I said, going into the year, I did the contextualized game logs. And like, there's the big theory, like, oh, older running back, like they wear down the stretch. But like, if you looked at Derrick Henry's splits last year, he was just so evidently better down the stretch than he was even in the early portion of the year. Like, if I go and find it, running backs, I have it saved here. What was his ADP around?
I think his ADP was like 1-2 turn, pretty much. Like,
got it.
I'd say like 14 or so.
Yeah, like if we're looking over at weeks 15 to 18 last year. So he averaged 20.5 points per game versus 19.6 the rest of the season. I realized this wasn't on my screen. Versus 19.6 for the rest of the season. But more importantly, like, look at the volume, dude. 146 yards from scrimmage per game in the final 4 weeks of last season, dude. Like,
yeah, it's
frozen
tundra, man. Frozen
older running back, but at the same time, hey, when it's cold out and nobody wants to tackle, maybe feeding the 6'3", 250-pounder between the tackles is a good call, especially when your quarterback is back injury is what they want to label it.
Yeah, no, literally. It's been running back's been a weird position this year, because I think one of my biggest takeaways about the running back position this season has been, I think, let's say 2 or 3 years ago, we were just skittish to take running backs, period. It's like, yes, we were saying, like, take your hero RB, your legendary upside swing or whatever, but generally we were favoring wide receiver projections over running backs most of the time on the board. And I think this year's really taught me, it's like, you need to know which running backs to fade. And you need to know which running backs to take your swings on, because this year we have 6 running backs that scored 19 or more PPR points per game. 6.
Only 3 receivers crossed that.
Yeah, James Cook, Devon Achane, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, and Christian McCaffrey all have scored 19 points per game or more. And I would say, like, if you took, depending on ADP, if you took Kyron Williams in the mid-3rd round, late 3rd round, like I did in the listener league, I'm satisfied with that pick. Do I feel like I hit it out of the park? No, but I'm satisfied with that pick. If you took Josh Jacobs in the 3rd round, you're satisfied with that pick, even though he's only averaging 15.7 points per game. Like, Chase Brown, I think you're satisfied with that pick now if you're able to weather the storm the first 7 games of the season and still get some wins together, because he's been a 20-point per game running back since week 8.
So, Corey, I'm actually even wrong. I said 3 wide receivers this year had 19-plus points per game. Actually, only 2 did.
Yeah, it's just Chase and Puka, I'm pretty sure.
Jamar Chase is at 18.9, JSN 21.9, Puka just ridiculous 23.8. Like,
Puka's 2021 Cooper Kupp. That was the bold prediction coming into the year. He hasn't produced 27 that Cooper Kupp posted in 2021. But if Puka has another 35, 40 point game, like it was 25.7 that Cooper Kupp had in 2021. So Puka Nacua, in order to have the amount of points that Cooper Kupp had on a points per game basis, would need probably a 40 bomb on Monday Night Football.
Possible. I'm not sure if you saw in the wide receiver tier list, I made the thumbnail with him wearing a crown, because, like, to me, it's clear.
He's a beast.
You got Puka Nacua, you have a good chance to win your championship this week.
Yeah, well, and it's super annoying to me. I will gladly sacrifice the championship to Arthur, because he has the Puka and Bijan duo on Monday Night Football, and I have the Puka and Bijan duo in my home league on Monday Night Football. And my home league is, I think, 3.5 times the prize pool of our listener league. So, Arthur, I will gladly allow Puka Nacua and Bijan to combine for 90 points because it'll mean that I win my home league. I'm totally cool if you want to win the listener league on the back of Puka Nacua and Bijan Robinson. I would love if that happened, honestly.
I will say the fact that I even got as far as I did, knowing that Hunter, Kraft, and then Rice wasn't even available in the playoff weeks is like good on me. Hopefully next year, cross my leagues for that matter, I don't get completely boned by bullshit like that. Maybe part of it is
tough for you this year. A lot of your favorite guys went down.
Yeah. I will say though, if Hunter gets cheaper in drafts,
he will, because Myers got an extension, and if UPJ doesn't get traded, I mean, Hunter's going to be a 7th, 8th round pick, I would imagine.
I'm gonna have another year with a lot of him on my teams.
Yeah, I would say if I were you, because I had this takeaway last year where I was like, I need to stop getting really emotionally tethered to certain players being better than every other player in the league. Like Brandon Ayuk for me was just such a huge whiff last year.
I feel you.
To the point that I'm like, I need to stop getting overly attached to players to the point that I'm going to draft them no matter what. I really
want
need
your
to
stances,
objectively sit back and look at what they actually are, what they like, and not just because sometimes it's like, hey, trust the talent. That's a good takeaway, for example, for JSN. Trust the talent. You were worried about, X, Y, and Z concern. You should have just trusted the talent. That definitely pays off in spurts, but trust the talent to an extent. And not get like super invested in players that you just think are better than other players. And to me, that would be my piece of advice for you on Travis Hunter. Obviously, the injury aside, next year I wouldn't be just all in on the talent.
Yeah, well, to a degree, it's like I can be all in and have 27% of him, but the fact that I had 38 or 39%, it's like, yeah, guess what? You have a season-ending injury. A lot of your portfolio is going down with it. I mean, like that's part of it. Is just I want to have stances. I want to get aggressive,
of course,
but I don't need multiple players with 35+% ownership because this year, unfortunately, I must have marked those players as like, yeah, God, take these ones down this year because that's just how my year has gone in fantasy football. Really, like I talked about it with you. I had 8 semifinal teams, at least 6, if not 7, like in a favorited spot or a 50-50 spot at the very minimum. And I made 3 finals. And it's like that's including teams that you would be shocked. Like those of you watching the stream right now would be shocked to even see.
And you were a pretty interception away from losing another one against me too.
100%. Well, the Mickey Mouse League was a big one, right? Because I've had a couple injuries, but like my team outscored everybody in that league by like 300, 400 points, and I lose in the semifinal.
Yeah, that was me and Tone Setter Truthers the first year. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just that year. I remember 2023, I was in I think I was in 10 or 12 leagues at the time. I made 7 or 8 semifinals, and I didn't make a single one to the final.
That was 2023. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I was like, how do you possibly run that cold? But then last year, I made I had 6 teams in the final, and I won all 6.
Yeah.
Like that was an insanely run hot situation. This year, it's like, okay, 16 competitive teams, 9 teams to the semifinal. I have 4 teams in the final. I would say I'm well set up to win at least 2 of them, give or take. Yeah. I think Arthur will probably beat me in the listener league. I think I should win my home league, and I think I should win Bush League as well because I had Derrick Henry, and I had Derrick Henry and Debbie Degeneracy as well. So that really helps me out. But Sexy Pats had Malik Willis, so it kind of offset a little bit.
I was scared. I can't lie. I thought after Jahmyr Gibbs and Nico Collins absolutely shit the bed for me in the listener league dyno, I'm like, oh, I must be in a tougher spot. But then I also saw that Reese had Jameson Williams and Jared Goff as well. So it kind of canceled out the ass for ass.
Yeah, if Garrett Swain's in here, he had Jahmyr Gibbs, Jared Goff, and a couple of other guys. His team is better than mine. Like his best ball team, his quarterbacks were Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, and Jared Goff. Like those were his 3 QBs. Those are like really, really good quarterback projections. And Goff kind of shit the bed. I mean, Stafford and Allen could still kill me, obviously, but I had Dak go for like 29 points. Derrick Henry went for like 50 points or something like that. So I'm in good shape against him. I would say he's still got a chance to beat me because his team has that many good high ceiling players left.
And by the way, speaking of the listener league, I do see. Yeah, I was shouting out Nate because I'm going for the back-to-back. It could have been 3 in a row, but Nate was playing good defense in that matchup. I was mentioning that yesterday. Appreciate you, brother. And shout out Reese, my opponent in the final. Looks like he bought him Packers tickets. So shout out Reese, man. That's a big baller move.
Yeah, no, for sure. I did the math. I'm $12.50 invested into fantasy football this year. in managed leagues, Dynasty, redraft, Devi, that kind of thing. The absolute lowest I can come away with today is 1040. And that's if I lost every third place matchup in every final. I would come away with 1040. And the highest I would come away with is 4180.
Not
so
bad.
And if I just win my home league, that's 2250. So that would take care of, that'd be $1,000 in the green right there. So I'm just hoping I can win my home league because I also want to have a third title.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
I'm saying, what is the lowest? I'm just looking at the range. I'm not saying, oh my God, it would be 4180 if I win. I don't think I'm going to win all of them. It's very unlikely that I do, especially considering there's conflicting players like Puka and Bijan in my home league versus you having Puka and Bijan, Arthur, in the listener league. I'm just saying that's the range. It's somewhere between 1040 and 4180. And then I would say, given that Jared Goff had the game that he had on Thursday, and Jake Ferguson left early for me on Thursday, and they were my only live quarterback and tight end for my Great Dane team, I would say I'd be satisfied. I would be ecstatic, honestly, to finish anywhere between 7th to 10th in that. Like, I think if I don't finish last, I would be happy because getting 4 points from your quarterback, 7 points from your tight end spot is going to put you behind the 8 ball pretty substantially. And Amon-Ra only dropped a couple of points. Tesla is hitting my lineup right now. Like, it's not a great situation. So I'm hoping I can at least be like 8th and win like 2,700 or whatever the 8th place is.
Yeah, and Arthur, funny enough, it hasn't happened these last couple of years because me and Corey have been the ones that win. But usually in our listener league, whoever wins the championship, you get an auto bid for the next year.
Yeah, no, you're right. It hasn't mattered because I won last year and you won the year before that. And I literally before the draft named my team back to back like Jordan 96, 97. So if I win, I like prophesize this back in like August.
Meanwhile, dude, I still can't believe it's like even in this league, my team's looking good all year, and then guess what, Rashid Rice, that concussion, I feel so bad for you. It doesn't have anything to do with Mahomes tearing his ACL, did it?
No, dude, it's so annoying that if I had on the Great Dane team, if I had Patrick Mahomes and Rashid Rice, my team would be in such great shape as well.
Yeah, dude, like, dude, even Waller picking up the slack after I lose Kraft and a tight end premium. Jawan Jennings, I mean, like, Jawan Jennings gets offset by Ladd McConkey's absolute shittiness, but him being good has kind of offset, losing Travis Hunter right before the breakout. So, like, the fact that I even got this far, like I said, like, I'm currently projected to beat Brock 45%, and it's not much, but
take a little, we'll take project. It's nice to open the app and see green instead of red. It's psychologically, it makes you feel better. A little simultaneous sip there. Also, Dylan, it's not our fault that you're in Sydney, Australia, brother. Like, don't be in Sydney next time.
This got me going, low key. This got me going. Let's go.
Yeah. Also, shout out one time if you guys are in a championship and decided and someone offered to split pot with you and you declined it because you guys are true alphas.
I do feel good. There was a lot of Jacobs questions yesterday, and a lot of them were like stronger options on the alternative. And I said start that version or that player over Jacobs in a lot of spots.
I feel like I was pro Jacobs this week, and I got immediately scared because I looked before the game at what Jacobs' rushing total was.
It's probably like 40 yards.
It was like 40 yards. And him to go like over 80 rushing yards was like plus 750. I'm like, oh shit, Vegas knows something. He's absolutely going to, he's absolutely not going to get a lot of touches.
Well, yeah, the thing with the Green Bay is like, unless the Bears completely collapse, they were probably destined to be a wild card anyways. Cause like they would have had to win both their games and the Bears would have had to lose both their games in order for them to win the NFC North. It's just pisses me off having the Packers pick, knowing if the Lions won and the Packers lost, we could have set up a scenario in week 18 where the Lions could have made the playoffs over the Packers.
Yeah, no, that would have been insane. Okay, let's get into the questions that we have here. We don't have a ton to go through because we answered a lot of them yesterday, but if you guys do want to ask a question, skip the line, you can do so by using the link pinned at the top of the live comments. And let's hammer the like button on this as well, because we'll give away plenty of questions as we go through it, because we don't have a lot of questions today. So if you do ask a question, it will get answered pretty quickly. And of course, whenever we have opportunities to go through chat questions, we will go ahead and do that. But yeah, let's get the like button up to 50 likes or something, and then we'll give away some questions. JJ Totaship, as I call him, Tutaship, as he's probably actually called, 14-man sleeper keeper league. Which 3 do I keep? So he's asking keeper question here. This is a basic redraft league, but he gets to keep a couple of players. Now, he didn't actually say, let me double check in the DMs if he said what the rules of the keeper are. Like, does he have to pick them at cost, or does he get them just in general, or like what is the option here? So
yeah, that's going to be big.
Yeah. So he doesn't list anything as, you get him at cost, or you give up this pick because you're keeping him or whatever. So I'm just going to assume that this is in a vacuum. You get to keep this player. Like, you just get him for nothing, and you have all of your picks next year.
So I think
the depleted draft, at least.
Okay, yeah. Assuming that you don't have to assign a pick to a player, because like if we don't know, like it's hard for us to guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's just say the 3 total players that you would be want to keeping for next year. I think the top 2 are pretty obvious. I'm sure.
Chase Brown and Nico Collins are very
Correct.
obvious, and I think that Brian Thomas Jr. is pretty obvious to me as well.
Yeah. I would agree. If someone wanted to argue Waddle because they got a decent quarterback option, I think that'd be in the range because BTJ struggled this year. But I do think the upside still leans with BTJ, so I would go with BTJ over Waddle. But like again, there's just so much that could happen this offseason. Like, what if Miami makes a big play at a quarterback? Like, hey, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they're done in fucking Cincinnati, and Miami wanted to wield a huge offer now.
So my opinion on the whole Joe Burrow thing is that it's just a ploy to get Zach Taylor fired. That's all that matters. So Zach Taylor's going to get fired, and nothing's going to happen with Joe Burrow.
To be fair, it also is a very cheap franchise in general, and like, are they the type of team that is going to support Burrow and Chase? Like, sorry, Corey's talking.
You can still speak.
Okay, I'm not sure if you could hear me. Are the Bengals the type of team that are going to go out there and try to make the roster better for those two? Like, if a Burrow trade were to actually happen, Corey, you know what team would make the most sense?
The Jets.
Yes.
Yeah, they're the only ones with
capital
to do it. That's the only reason it makes the most sense.
Like,
I guess the Rams could technically do it as well with the capital that they have from Atlanta.
True, but like, yeah, dude, like if you're New York and you're in this position now where, the roster's gutted, but you have a wide receiver in Garrett Wilson you really like, you have an offensive line that you believe in, how much more than 5 ones plus another piece can get you even both Burrow and Chase?
Yeah, no, I
Micah think went for 2 1s and a 2.
Yeah, I think Burrow goes for 4 1s for sure, and
probably
player. Like he's not going for less than 4 1s and a good player. Like I think if the Rams wanted to offer their first round pick, Atlanta's first round pick, and like Jared Verse or something like really good, like that would maybe get the Bengals intrigued, and then they'd probably have to work out the semantics from there. I don't think the Vikings.
I just don't know if a trade will cost that much. Like, I honestly don't think a trade will cost that much because we don't have a precedent of it.
Yeah,
that's the issue. Because
we like the last time a player of this caliber was traded was hypothetically Deshaun Watson, but he also had a lot of off the field stuff going on. Like Burrow doesn't have that, and he also has been to a Super Bowl, and he's obviously still in his prime. And I don't think he really needs an extension or anything like that because that was also part of the Watson thing.
Because I guess you could also argue that with Burrow's injuries, now he's about 30 years old. Like I don't think it's going to cost as much as maybe like it should.
It should cost 4 to 5 first round picks for a Cal. This is a top 3 quarterback on the planet.
It should, but is it going to cost 3.5 ones? Is it going to cost 4 ones?
If the Bengals told me as the Jets that they wanted my 2 1s and my 3 1s next year, I would pay it. You're not going to have to, but I would.
Especially if you can get Chase in that.
I don't think you even need Chase there. I would still do it. I would do 5 1s straight for Joe Burrow. He's that good of a player.
I wouldn't. Micah went for 2 1s and a 2. I just don't think
he's quarterback. It's different.
I get that, but like you're also looking at a top 2 defensive player in the league in his prime as well, age wise. I just don't think the precedent's going to lean towards 5 1s. I think it's probably going to be like 3 1s and a player.
Yeah,
like just given the precedent.
If Minnesota offered their next 3 first round picks, this first round pick is probably top 12, I would imagine. I can't remember exactly where they're picking, but if they offered their next 3 first round picks, I think that would probably get their foot in the door, most likely. And then whatever else they would have to pay, maybe it's like, I don't know, like a young player on defense or something. Like maybe they'd have to give Dallas Turner as well or something like that.
So the interesting thing with the Jets too is you got to keep in mind that they have 5 1s. But one of those ones is guaranteed locked in to be what, like 7th or 8th? It's the 4th pick right now. One of those ones.
The Jets. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, them giving up their 4th pick would go a long way. I think if they gave up their 4th pick, their where's the other one? The Colts one's mid first this year.
Colts one's at 18 right now.
If they gave up 4-18 and the lower, like the higher of the 2 firsts in 2027, I think that would probably be enough to get the Bengals intrigued for sure.
Yeah.
The Jets have a couple of young players that maybe the Bengals would be interested in as well. Like an offensive lineman, for example, like one of their like Joe Tippmann types or something like that.
Yeah, as long as it wouldn't cost either of the bookends, I'd be cool.
Yeah, you don't want to give up Fashanu or Membu, but
I mean,
an interior player would maybe make sense for Cincinnati because they don't really have a good interior.
Maybe a Mason Taylor type is something that.
Well, I was thinking Elijah Vera Tucker would make sense.
Yeah.
AVT 4-18 in the 2027 first. That's going to be higher of the 2. Who says no? The Bengals or the Jets?
Well, if the Bengals are serious on moving Burrow, I think that's a perfect package to be able to do so. Because hypothetically, you're getting that 4th pick to try to get in position to try to get a quarterback, right?
Right.
And in that scenario, like the only issue right now, I guess it's not really that much of an issue because the Giants and Raiders play today. I'm actually not sure who has the tiebreaker between whoever loses that game and the Jets. Like, or whoever wins that game and the Jets.
So the Raiders will get the first pick if they lose.
Correct. But whoever wins that game, like who's the tiebreaker?
The Giants would move after the Jets if they win that pick or if they win the game.
Interesting. Go Raiders.
I'm pretty sure that the Jets would be picking 3rd in that scenario.
The issue though is like of all the top 4 teams in the draft right now, like they all need quarterbacks.
Yeah, no, literally. I think I could see Arizona bypassing a QB though.
Arizona's at 6 right now.
They're not even in the top 4. I thought they were.
Giants, Raiders, Browns, Jets. Titans are the first one that don't need a quarterback at 5.
Giants don't need a quarterback.
Or Giants. 3 of the 4. My bad.
So Raiders, Giants, Jets, and Browns. They all need a quarterback.
Raiders, Jets, and Browns. Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Call me crazy here, but I don't think the Browns are going to take one. They probably need one, but I actually think they would be more likely to do the Malik Willis and Shadur kind of combo as opposed to taking a quarterback who's 2nd or 3rd off the board.
I just think if you're looking at like Dante Moore or it's probably going to be Dante Moore. Mendoza can go 1.
I frankly, I think that the Browns are going to win today's game, and it's going to be the Raiders and Jets pick 101 and 102.
Well, I mean, that'd be even more merit for Cincinnati to make a trade then.
Oh, of course. Yeah, but I think that the Raiders and Jets will have the first 2 picks in the draft because Cleveland is going to beat Pittsburgh today.
This is a big takeaway too. Like if I'm a team and I need a quarterback this offseason, I don't have the means to go up and get
He's got to at least get whatever Justin Fields got in free agency last year.
You want to know what my pick that I really want him to go to is?
The Rams.
The Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's saying that. I personally would rather see him go to Los Angeles.
The reason being, like, you fully invest to having an elite ground game in Miami if you get Malik Willis.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Malik Willis as a runner, his metrics are like 100th percentile in the prospect model. Like, he's one of the best rushing quarterbacks that's ever played college football.
Dude, he was the entire Packers offense last night. Like Jacobs combined for what? Like 8 yards is what he had?
Yeah. No, Malik's a good player, man.
Yeah.
Malik's a good player. I think that he'll get at least a Justin Fields caliber contract. I think if I was Cleveland or I was Miami or I was Arizona or one of these teams, whoever misses out on a quarterback in the draft or projects to miss out on a quarterback in the draft, absolutely. Malik Willis plus a day 3 quarterback and see what happens. Next year's probably going to be a better quarterback class anyways.
Hear me out too. Say the Rams are unable to get the Stafford successor in the draft. It's because we mentioned
Zach Wilson to Los Angeles, please.
So the reason why I thought about this name is because we mentioned Malik Willis, and it made me think. I'm like, maybe the overall sentiment on some of these quarterbacks out of Tennessee kind of got stunk up by the situation that is Tennessee. Will Levis on the Rams as their backup would be interesting.
Yeah,
Will Levis on the Rams.
We do always say that. Scribbles, but
that's fair.
Last year, that statement is still true. Like we said, 2026 can be a better class than 2025. It's true. It is a better class, in my opinion, because Fernando Mendoza, in my opinion, is a better top 5 quarterback prospect than Cam Ward was. And I do think that we're going to get Dante Moore coming out as well, who is a better prospect than Dart or whoever was QB2 for a lot of people.
like every time I watch him, I think, well, that's just CJ Stroud.
Yeah,
That's just
he's
CJ Stroud.
he can play, man. He just needs experience. Like in my opinion, he should go back to school because if he, as a prospect coming out as a senior in 2027, he'd be a legit dude. Like he would be a true like, you know, Drake May, Caleb Williams, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young caliber prospect.
So I agree. The issue though is the 2027 class is just inherently going to be a lot better. Just even like
because Manning and Sayin are probably coming out next year. That's why.
Yeah, and like maybe Sellers improves this year, comes out next year. Like there's a lot of guys next year that are going to be in competition. You could argue that Dante Moore could be a worse prospect this year than he would be after next year.
And still go higher. You should absolutely come out this year, even if teams are worried about 1 year of starting experience, because they like
top 3 in my opinion
won't be picked higher next year, even if you like. Yeah, he's a top. He not only is he a top 10 pick, he's probably a top 3 pick if he declares.
Yeah, like the only reason he wouldn't go clear number 2 overall is that let's just say the Giants ended up picking 2 or the
and even in that case, I think there'd probably be action on that pick as well. But anyways, let's get back to the questions that we have here. We got tons. We got all off season to talk about this stuff.
We get yapping football. You know how it is.
Anyways, pretty cut and dry here. JJ two to ship. Chase Brown, Nico Collins, Brian Thomas Jr. I guess, would this answer for you change? Let's assume that it is like where you picked them, that you have to give up that selection. Because I'm sure you'd have to give up your 1 if you pick Nico Collins, your 2 if you pick Chase Brown, or probably like your 2 or 3 for
I would want to know who's
your 3 for Chase Brown.
I would need more information then at that point. Who's being kept around you? What pick would you be giving up? Like there's just
based on where they were going in ADP, relatively speaking. Because like Waddle was like a 5th round pick that you'd be giving up. Loveland probably like a 13th round pick. Purdy like a 12th round pick or something. Like would you change your answer? You just giving up your 1 for Nico, your 2 for Thomas, and your 3 for Chase Brown? Because that's I'm assuming where those players were picked if they were drafted by you.
Well, if that's the case, like again, like more context would be needed because there's one thing if I'm giving up the 101 versus for Nico Collins or the 112 for Nico Collins.
Right. Yeah. I guess
you know what I mean? Like, I would need more context to the question if you have to give up the pick. But if it's just you don't have to give up the pick, you can just keep the players and just rock on for next year. Like Chase Brown, Nico Collins, BTJ are the trio. If there is value at hand, I honestly think Colson Loveland's
Loveland would probably be the one that gets the value as opposed to Waddle would probably be a 3rd or a 4th round pick that you'd have to give up, I would imagine.
Over under tight end 6.5 in your rankings next year going into the season.
I would have to know what happens with Kmet, I think, before I can answer that question. I think if Kmet was off the roster, I'd say he'd probably be a top 5 or 6 tight end in my rankings. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause like I'm looking at it like Kittle, he's going to be ahead of him. Bauer's going to be ahead of him. McBride's going to be ahead of him. Those are the 3 after that.
I think that you probably have to say Harold Fannin is ahead of him as well.
You can argue that.
Given his production this year. I would say somewhere between where you rank Warren and maybe Kraft meets some deadlines and he's able to come back. I'd probably prefer Loveland over Kraft given the ACL. But yeah, like there'd be some kind of cluster of like mid to back end tight end 1 kind of players.
Yeah, Jaden Ball is a freak athlete, Dylan. I've watched him a couple times.
Yeah, he's kind of a beast. Yeah, DJ Moore is also something maybe to monitor with the Chicago Bears as well. I think that DJ Moore would make a lot of sense to leave Chicago, but it sounds like he's kind of like beloved there to some degree. Like it sounds like he's kind of endeared himself to the team and Caleb Williams and whatnot. And if Caleb Williams wants him around, I think his word would carry a lot of weight in the organization.
Maybe. I also think that they know that what they have with Luther Burden as well. So I'm very curious how they handle it.
Yes, but like if DJ Moore was willing to restructure his contract, then wouldn't that make sense to just keep him? Like why force Luther Burden into a big role if you want to let him develop slowly for the long term anyways?
Because I also think another interesting team is going to offer you a good, decent bit of value now for DJ Moore.
I don't think so, man. I think that all you're getting max is like a 3rd or a 4th round pick for him. I don't think you're getting a 1 or a 2 for DJ Moore on the open market.
Well, I think cashing in on the contract for a 3rd or 4th, being able to still be strong at the skill position players on the perimeter, and then being able to use that pick on defense now, I think is going to be like really good for them.
I mean, if I was the Buffalo Bills, I'd be willing to send a 3rd round pick for DJ Moore. Like,
in a heartbeat. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you're a team like Buffalo, like Khalil Shakir has been a 50% snap share slot receiver that's operated as your 1, or Dalton Kincaid has operated as your 1 when healthy. Like you need somebody on the perimeter that, sure, DJ Moore has his flaws. Like I've talked shit about him a lot on this channel. And fun fact, maybe taking him in the 5th round this year wasn't the smartest idea. Yes. I
don't know, dude. His hit rate's probably not as bad as you'd think for some of the other players going around that range.
In best ball, I agree. If you drafted him in normal lineup settings,
He just needed good coaching, man. As soon as he got back on my team, he was elite.
Yeah. All jokes aside, though, yeah, I will run a little victory lap in there simply because of the fact that there's also stuff that are dunk worthy. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was far more out on McLaurin than DJ Moore of the two of them. So
yeah. Oh,
we weren't drafting either of those guys. But anyways, yeah, JJ2 to ship. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them there. But like in a vacuum, yeah, Nico Collins, Brian Thomas Jr., and Chase Brown feel like the pretty obvious options to keep there. Same question here. You said I asked about a flex earlier, and you said Marvin Harrison Jr. I got Samson.
I have to move Marv down. I have to move Marv down. There was a report today that he would be on a pitch count yet again.
That's what it said?
That's what it said. His snaps would be limited.
Okay, so let me ask you this. We can do this live. Marvin Harrison Jr. or Michael Pittman today?
That's about the range I have him. I actually just moved Marvin Harrison Jr. down below Jalen Coker and Parker Washington, right above Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce.
So, okay, yeah, we have like, I guess, a little bit of a different group of guys in the early to mid 30s. Like I have Harrison 31, Shakir 32, Pittman 33, Igbuka 34, Debo and Franklin locked in at 35 and 36. And then Parker Washington 37, Alec Pierce 38, and AD Mitchell 39, and Jordan Addison locked in at 40. So we had a little bit of a different group there, but it's all like a big cluster of players who are all very similar for me.
Feeling actually decent that I gave Christian Watson some benefit of the doubt last night because I had him locked in at 32. Like 32 wasn't
I ranked
high.
him at 46. I moved all the Packers receivers way down when Malik Willis was named starter. I just thought that the pass attempts weren't going to be there, and they weren't, to be honest. It's just Watson was good on his touches.
Yeah, and like part of that risk is why I only had him at 32. Like obviously, if I knew he'd be that good and look that healthy, he'd be a lot higher than that. But I still said like he was a decent lineup piece. The following tier was my flex tier. Troy Franklin locked in at 33. If you told me he had four catches going into that game, I would have made that same bet every single time. It's just unfortunate the big play didn't happen. He had 4 catches for 17 yards. Jalen Coker I have at 34, 34 and a half receiving yards or more in 6 straight games, or 5 out of 6 games. And we do have the report that McMillan could be a little bit limited with the rest.
Yeah, he's not a terrible option. I don't have him quite as high as you. I have him at 41, but he's a pretty decent option for sure.
Parker Washington, big game last week. I have to give him some benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, I just think this is the get right spot for BTJ. Marv 36, Pittman and Pierce 37, 38, Addison locked in at 39, and then I had AD Mitchell at 40. So just had those guys flip flopped.
Yeah. The tough one to figure out is Harrison, because even on a pitch count, if he's playing 75% of the routes in that game environment, I still think I would start him as a top 32 receiver, to be honest.
Which one?
Harrison. Even because he's playing in a 53-point over-under game, like I still would start him as a top 32 receiver, even if he's only out there for 75% of the routes.
I would lean with Samson here, though.
Yes, I would as well. Yeah, with Samson. So a couple of inactive news that I can quickly just rattle off here. So also Caleb Johnson, a healthy inactive, is pretty crazy considering coming into the... I thought we might have low-key gotten Caleb Johnson being a piece that you needed in Week 17 Best Ball Mania, because I thought Gainwell and Warren would be inactive today if the Ravens had lost.
So I saw a tweet that the guy, somebody took a season-long projection and he asked, is this the first time ever a season-long projection finished in the negative? Caleb Johnson this year is -1 rushing yards.
That is one of the craziest things I've ever heard. That is like I don't think I've ever seen a first-round rookie pick be this bad. Like this is like he's worse than Trey Sermon.
It makes no sense to me. He looks overwhelmed.
It makes some sense to me because I didn't think he was that great of a prospect, but I thought he was better than this.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I thought at least the part of his game that would translate, is he going to be a burner? Is he going to be an elite, yards after contact player? Like, no. What I thought would translate was the intangibles, because he was genuinely one of the best vision backs that I watched last year. And the fact that he looked so lost,
his ceiling is Tank Bigsby now. That's his ceiling.
Yeah, and again,
that's his ceiling, because Tank had a really bad rookie season as well. Like, Tank is a good running back, but he's never gotten a big workload. I think that's Caleb Johnson. The best case scenario you're going to get out of this dude going forward is like he works his way into an Alexander Madison type of career trajectory.
Also, Dylan, why are we talking about this? Underwood is not leaving. You understand the guy who brought Bryce Underwood to Michigan is the second richest man in the world, right?
Yeah, he's probably not going anywhere.
Dude, you know how billionaires are. Even if like, oh yeah, shit, you're one of the Underwood experiment, we would have wanted more. If a billionaire spent $10 million on this guy, he's not going to just say, well, give up. That's gone. No. He would rather spend another $10 million to keep him and make sure the investment isn't cooked.
Who tweeted this thing about Harrison? Because I'm not actually seeing this anywhere. This pitch count and stuff.
Let me see. I saw it last night.
Chris Olave, Tedero, and McMillan are both active for week 17. I moved Tedero and McMillan down 4 or 5 spots in my wide receiver rankings from wide receiver 14 to wide receiver 18, but generally he's still a pretty good play. And then Sampson's active. He should get the starting job today. Harold Fannon's going to be good to go. Chris Olave, good to go. And then Marvin Harrison, you said Schefter was the one who tweeted it out.
Schefter, Marvin Harrison Jr., heel, expected to play, but will have snaps managed.
Okay. So last week, let me see what he ran last week.
51%, I think it was.
Whatever he ran last week, I would expect about a 20% increase.
Yeah, he had 51% of the snaps, I think, last week. Also, keep in mind, he's going to face shadow coverage from DJ Turner.
Yeah. Well, that's not a guarantee. I think it's possible Michael Wilson gets that.
It was expected on the
61% of the routes last week. I would say he'll probably be around 75% this week.
Yeah. Also, with the shadow report, that was what Field Yates tweeted out. Apologies.
Yeah, it's in the ESPN shadow matrix and on Fantasy Points that he's going to get the shadow coverage from DJ Turner. But it wouldn't totally shock me if the Bengals identify Michael Wilson as the bigger threat. It wouldn't shock me if they're like, let's put DJ Turner on him instead.
Hey, Pro Football Talk linking the Cowboys to Brian Flores. I would cry tears of joy if we got Brian Flores as DC.
Yeah,
need that.
I'm assuming Shoddy's not in any danger of losing his job.
No, they love him, dude. The one I'm scared, like, I don't think he's going to leave because I think it's only 1 year as an offense coordinator, but I am praying we don't lose Clayton Adams. That guy is so good.
Yeah.
The impact he had on our ground game, specifically blocking up front, trap ideologies, like a lot more.
He turned Javonte Williams into an RB1 in fantasy. Like, I mean, that's a feat.
Dude, and like Javonte's been running hard, but like he clearly lost some juice, like the explosive ability.
I'm curious where he's going to be a prototypical dead zone kind of profile. I think it's hard to figure out what's real and what's not with him.
I'm curious what deal he gets because like I don't think Dallas would bring him back for more than 1 year. I also don't think they would exceed over $6 to $7 million on a 1 year deal.
I mean, if he gets DeAndre Swift's contract, he's going to be very challenging to figure out.
I don't think it's coming from Dallas, though. That's the thing. Like, I don't think he's signing a 3-year, $24 million in Dallas. Like, if he returned
if he changes teams, I'm not going to be drafting him at all. I'm saying even if Dallas pays him 2 for $18 or something like that, I'd be curious to know what happens with his workload.
Yeah.
Like he kind of screams like Melvin Gordon on the Broncos to me next year. You remember when Melvin Gordon went to the Broncos and he got like a lot of touches and was super inefficient with them? He kind of screams that to me. But then again, if he's on Dallas next year, I mean, Dallas will be a good offense and he'll be able to produce and stuff. But I'm worried about the player.
Yeah. Well,
more
that's
so
the
than the team.
Also, Malik Davis looked pretty decent down the stretch too. Maybe we see some of the work kind of get taken off of his workload.
Yeah, and maybe they add to the position as well.
Yeah, like I'll give credit to Malik Davis, dude. He's a good change of pace, a little back there.
Yeah, he my Debbie Degeneracy lineup against Sexy Pats, he has 10 points. He had rushed for 100 yards.
He looked good too, man. Wish some of those points would have gone to CD, especially considering Dak arguably had his worst game of the season, left 2 easy walk-in touchdowns underthrown on that game. Like, that's the thing. Like, you'll look at the game. Dak had two touchdowns, 300 yards. Objectively speaking, he was off all day. Like, he was off all day. And like, I don't usually criticize him like this, but like, yeah, not the cleanest game from 4.
Yeah, no, dude, it's wild in Dynasty Best Ball that like Terrence Ferguson and Geno Smith hit my lineup last week, like in Debbie Degeneracy. Like, you know who didn't hit my lineup? Michael Wilson, Baker Mayfield, Ladd McConkey, Troy Franklin, Nico Collins, Breece Hall, or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, none of those guys hit my lineup in the semifinals. Jesus. But Terrence Ferguson and Geno Smith did.
I saw a tweet. There was like 8 players, including like Amon-Ra, CD, like a bunch of studs that have already played.
And it was just Derrick Henry's score was higher than all of them. Yeah,
it's like, bro,
crazy shit.
That's like the shit I've been dealing with in fantasy all year in the Flock League.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Trevion Henderson, good to go. Cleared the concussion protocol. He's a top 15 play at the running back position this week, so you're definitely starting him. And then George Kittle. So those of you guys that are out there listening, thinking about what you should do with George Kittle, the most recent report is that he's unlikely to play, or it's going to be an uphill battle for him to play, etc. So unless you have Kyle Pitts, Jake Tungus, Colston Loveland, or like, I mean, you're probably not even going to, Colby Parkinson, I suppose, because he plays on Monday Night Football. I wouldn't risk it with George Kittle. Like, if you're like, hey, who do I start? Brenton Strange or George Kittle? Who do I start? I'm trying to think who's playing today. Harold Fannin or George Kittle. Do I start Juwan Johnson or George Kittle in this question? Like, go with Juwan Johnson. Like, George Kittle is very unlikely he's playing by the looks of it.
Corey, I'm contemplating putting like 3 tiers of a difference between Trey McBride at 1 and Harold Fannin at 2 in my rankings this week.
Harold Fannin's a monster, man.
But I'm thinking of doing like 3 empty tiers because like McBride against the Bengals, we could literally be looking at 200 yards and 3
Don't say that. Don't say that. I face him. But you know, the bright side is I have Fannin. So at least I have the second best tight end play of the week.
Dude, did you hear how McBride was talking about too? Said that he was pissed off about how he played last week and he's looking to improve.
Why did last week have to be the bad game for McBride? We couldn't have had the dud come this week. Like, I already know, like, he's projected in our league format to score 21 points, and I'm expecting 35. Like, I'm expecting a 35 burger from Trey McBride today.
You know what I'm really excited of, by the way, and we'll have to talk. Do we want to do it this upcoming week? Do we want to do it the week after? Is the exercise we do every year is the way too early 2026 draft for fantasy wise. McBride has to be a first round pick, right?
Are we going to do this again with tight ends? We're going to rank him in the round 1.
He's in his prime.
I don't care. You don't take tight ends that high. You hope that you hit on the tight end that turns into McBride. You don't draft him the year after.
He's like the 8th or 9th highest scoring player in fantasy, period.
Okay,
right now.
But my counter to you will be, are we expecting the Cardinals to throw the ball 40 times a game again?
Maybe not. Again, I would have to project it early, assuming Brissett's the quarterback. If they make a quarterback change, okay, sure.
I guess my thought process on tight ends is I'm always going to want to catch lightning in a bottle as opposed to grab it when the lightning is ran out.
I mean, if Trey McBride is a round 4 pick.
No, I mean, in my opinion, where he should go is probably mid to late second round.
At lowest, I can get his top 15.
Yeah, like we do this every year with Bowers, too, man. But why do we continue to take tight ends high? Unless you have McBride's season, which he's having right now, it's never worth it. Unless you are as dominant as McBride is right now, it's not worth it. Which is a high bar. We're talking you need 100th percentile, 95th percentile plus range of outcome from any tight end that is drafted that high.
Sure.
Doesn't matter who it is.
On the
counter,
counter,
a prime Kelsey, a prime Bowers, a prime Gronk, or whatever. They have to be
on the counter
4 points per game better than everyone else.
On the counter, this is basically exactly what he did last season, except he actually got the touchdown aggression.
You're right. You're right. And he is the new prime Kelsey. Like this is prime Kelsey. This is what we should be treating prime Kelsey as. But again, that profile is best suited for the 2-3 turn, not for the first round. If he produces this season from the first round, yes, he will pay off at ADP, but we're talking 100th percentile range of outcome.
I just don't think there's enough good projections at running back and wide receiver to push him down to back end of the second. I would capitulate on mid 2, like if you wanted to take even like a rebound season for Nico,
I think guys like Chase Brown would go over him in a heartbeat.
I would take McBride over him.
I would take Chase Brown in a heartbeat over Trey McBride next year.
I'm taking McBride for sure.
In a heartbeat. With a healthy Joe Burrow and everything, assuming things stay the same there in Cincinnati, like I'm taking a healthy Chase Brown.
I love Chase Brown. I would take McBride and not think twice.
Again, it's not the reason I don't like taking tight ends early too is that it's not just what that guy does at his position. It's also what the other tight ends going after him do.
Sure.
For example, part of why Bowers has been such a bad pick this year is because McBride went after him and is having the season that we needed to see from Bowers in order for him to pay off his ADP.
Sure. But at the same time, the wide receivers you say would for sure go out like Lamb, Chase.
It's not just about the positions and the projections going around a guy like McBride. It's also about the rest of the tight end position being deeper, and also the wide receivers and running backs. So you need to start 2 or 3 of them every single week.
I think tight end will be deeper, but if you have McBride scoring on par with guys in that range and also inherently knowing that, like even if Brock Bowers improves and he gets to the 16 to 18 range, like he would also be a good pick at his ADP. Outside of that, like
16 to 18 points per game from a tight end is a 95th percentile range of outcomes. I don't want to start
McBride's at almost
as medians. They're not medians.
Arthur, I'm talking about from a redraft perspective, not from a best ball. I would agree in best ball, I'd probably dilute him a little bit just because you can make up in numbers. But in a pure redraft perspective, like let's just say flock league next year,
McBride and Bowers. I mean, Bowers went high because Nick wanted the meme, but Bowers probably slides to the early round 3 part if unless Mason would have taken him. Because I think
there should be a round gap between McBride and Bowers next year, and I think Bowers should be a 3rd round pick.
You just did the thing that I think is not true, which is you said Bowers gets back to 16 to 18 points per game. That's a ceiling projection for a tight end. We got to get that crystal clear.
Saying,
that is, we are projecting a ceiling when we say that.
Okay, agreed. But if he doesn't get back up to that range, McBride is going to lap the field.
Yes, you're right. But he has to. He has to. Otherwise, he's a horrible pick.
But let me ask you,
I'm the field if you're taking that high.
I'm going to be in on other tight ends like Loveland, like Kittle.
Which is why I won't be drafting McBride.
But I mean, at the same time, objectively speaking, as high as I can be on Kittle and on Loveland, McBride has shown a league-winning level upside here. We're talking about 19 points per game. The next closest tight end is 15.4.
My opinion on the tight end position is that any tight end that's going top 7 to 10 in ADP has league-winning upside, honestly. Yes, McBride might have a 20-point per game season in him, but if you get 6th round Colston Loveland and you get 16 points per game out of him, that's more valuable than 19 points per game out of a 2nd round.
But you just said that's a 95th percentile outcome for tight ends.
That's what I'm saying. You can project high ranges of outcomes for every tight end. That's why I don't want to draft one super high.
Sure, but not every one of them is gold jacket like Trey McBride is.
Sure. Again, sometimes
there's 3 of those.
Exceptions to the rule. Gronk and Kelsey were exceptions to the rule.
For reference,
people said this about Bowers and people said this about Laporta.
So let me say this. Depending on what the difference in ADP is, obviously, I think very crystal clear, the top 3 tight ends, both in ability and where they should be going in fantasy next year, McBride, Bowers, Kittle. I think that's going to be a pretty... If anybody has anybody else in their top 3, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
Right? At that point, it's outside of those 3, can you make the case Loveland, he could jump up, be a gold jacket level player. Warren, he's got the talent profile to do that as well. But those are the 3 crystal clear gold jacket level players at tight end next year.
Okay, well, how did gold jacket level player Brock Bowers work out?
He got hurt.
When he was healthy, on top of that, good either. So
crappy quarterback situation. This is speaking that Brissett's going to be starting next year. Obviously, if they do anything else at quarterback, I'll change my tune. But
this is my opinion on Brock Bowers' season. I think we got a median season out of him. I don't think there was a floor or anything. I think that was a median season out of a tight end that goes that high. That's why I just don't think that tight ends are worth that high of a pick.
I frankly disagree. I think that was at best a 30th percentile outcome.
Yeah, I'd say it was 50th, 60th. You get 15 points per game out of a tight end. That's a 50th, 60th percentile, I think.
14.7. He had the arguably bottom 5 quarterback play in the league.
Yeah, well, he had that last year too, for what it's worth.
I mean,
Gardner Minshew starting last year.
Yeah, but Geno was hurt. Geno was throwing picks. He was hurt himself. I
also
don't think the player
was much worse this year than it was last year. They just didn't throw the ball as much.
I also don't think the player of Brock Bowers was operating at more than 70% for the majority of the year.
No, of course he wasn't healthy, obviously. But again, I just think when you miss on I'm
going to be in on a
receiver in the 2nd round and you miss on a tight end in the 2nd round, the tight end hurts far more.
So let me ask you this: Brock Bowers is a mid-3rd round pick in ADP next year. You're not going to be all in at that cost?
No, I'm not. I'll take some shares, but I'm not going to be all in.
I will.
Not a chance. It depends where everybody else is. Is Harold Fannin a fucking 7th round pick? Because I will take Harold Fannin all day.
I just think tight ends across the board might be getting pushed up into the mid rounds more.
Maybe. I don't.
Because the wide receivers
leagues that you and I play in, my home league doesn't value tight ends. Sure. Our flock league doesn't value tight ends. I think we're gonna see
there's more good tight ends
this year, which is that no one values tight ends and they start to slide.
Sure, because there were so many good late round projections. Everybody loved the projection of taking.
I think it's going to be even more late round projections next year.
Sure, but there's more of a middle ground. We were drafting TJ Hawkinson as tight end 5 going into the year with JJ McCarthy at quarterback.
Right, but
I just think the mid rounds are so much more stacked.
Hawkinson, so that's a bad example. Sure. It's a better example is Loveland and Warren.
Correct, but those guys were double-digit round picks for the majority of last offseason. I'm saying, when you don't have, that type of elite clear upside, because this year's draft class isn't nearly like last year's.
Sadiq will probably be a top 12 tight end in ADP, and people will be all over him.
Maybe, but at the same time, even if Sadiq goes in the top 15, I think objectively speaking, he's a worse prospect than both Loveland and Warren were.
Right, but precisely why I'm not going to take Bowers in the mid-3rd round is because I can probably get Sadiq in round 11 or 12. And in my tight end like Sadiq has just as much upside to have a 15-point per game season from his draft position.
Also, who knows? Maybe Sadiq goes to the Kansas City Chiefs and this is a moot point.
Yeah, maybe. Anyways, let's get back to the questions here. Tight end conversation aside, tight ends suck and don't draft them early. That's just my opinion.
Combo.
Michael Carter or Alec Pierce here? Which one are you leaning towards? I think I probably would go Carter, but it'd be close.
Yeah, I lean Carter there.
You're also down because of Jacobs' performance and Jared Goff's performance. So you kind of need the upside of a running back punching in 2 touch. I mean, Alec Pierce obviously has high upside as well, but I don't know if you're going to catch lightning in a bottle twice there with him catching.
Not against the Jags,
dude. Straight week.
Yeah, not against the Jaguars defense.
It does sound like weather-wise too, Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts might be in a tiny bit of trouble because it's like Buffalo, freezing rain in Buffalo right now. It's not supposed to be super treacherous, but it's not going to be like peak weather conditions. My rule is I never sit Josh Allen, but if someone's like, do I start Drake May or Josh Allen? If you want to start Drake May over Josh Allen, I wouldn't blame you.
So it's funny you said that because they are quite literally quarterback 1 and 2 tier of their own for me this week.
Yeah, like Drake, if you want to start Drake May because you're like, I'm worried about Josh Allen and the weather, that's a fine tiebreaker. Again, I'm not going to go crazy with the weather bias and say that you need to go nuts and not start Josh Allen, start Trevor Lawrence instead. No, if you want to start Drake May over him, you want to start Matthew Stafford over him, you want to start Joe Burrow over him, that's about as far as I could go. And Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy over him, you want to start him over him, you want to start Brissett or Lawrence over Jalen Hurts, I could get there, but I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not starting Hurts over him. They're in the same game. We are answering some questions.
If you have Jalen Hurts, do you start Brock Purdy or Jacoby Brissett or Trevor Lawrence or those? I
could go as far as Caleb.
I wouldn't start Caleb over him, but I could go as far as Brissett or Lawrence, I think.
Just because Caleb's the end of that tier for me. But
for sure.
Let's go through the question. Let me see.
Drake London versus Mike Evans. Again, I think Drake's going to be just fine. So I'm probably going to be cool going with Drake. I mean, he is going to be starting Kyle Pitts. I'm assuming he's going to wait on Kittle. If Kittle's not playing, he starts Pitts. I'd probably just prefer Pitts in a vacuum anyways, to be honest, given that Kittle, even if he plays, will be limited. Do you roll with the 2 Falcons or do you go with Mike Evans instead of Drake London? Like, look at his lineup too. Like, he's just got a loaded group of players. Like, maybe you could argue Drake London's a little riskier because of the injury, and you're like, I already have JT, James Cook, Josh Allen, Nico.
I think I'd just go London.
Like, I think I'd probably just go London too, but it's worth a conversation, I think.
Yeah, Zach has both of them.
Yeah, he does. Okay. Jalen Coker, Parker Washington, Emeka Egbuka, or Marvin Harrison?
I have Coker the highest here, but Parker Washington, Marv would be the next 2.
Yeah, Marvin, Parker, Egbuka, Coker is how I have them ranked. So I guess.
Yeah, I have Coker over Egbuka for sure. He's just playing way more snaps right now.
I'm fine ruling Egbuka out of here. I think I would probably go with Harrison though. Even with the DJ Turner stuff and the matchup being a little bit sketchy, I just think Harrison in a 53-point over/under game with how much they're throwing the ball is worth it.
So Laquan, if you're watching right now, my order would be Coker, Washington, Harrison. Corey's would be what? Harrison, Washington, Coker.
Yeah, he's in the chat right now. He said Marvin's still on a damn snap count. I'm leaning towards a poor man stack with Parker and Trevor. So
that's interesting.
This could age poorly for me as a take. I would not chase Parker Washington's week last week.
I wouldn't either.
I ranked him like somewhat high for respect for what he did last week.
That's what I did.
It was truly a Patrick Surtain and Riley Moss avoidance game plan.
So I'm curious, like, does your tune on Coker change at all with the context that McMillan could like play 50% of the snaps and get rested?
Factoring the McMillan stuff in like that much to my rankings. It's a tiny little tiebreaker. I'm not really factoring it in that much.
Okay. Just because I'm looking at it, like he played 81% of the snaps, and if McMillan's banged up at all, like he could easily see 8+ targets in this game.
Yeah, like call me crazy on Parker Washington. I'd rather start Adonai Mitchell, to be honest. Like I think he's a fine play if you're really desperate, but I don't think that Marvin Harrison is worth sitting for Parker Washington. Maybe I'm going to be crazy and look stupid on that one. I just made an update in my rankings. I actually would prefer Egbuka as well to Parker Washington, but it's close. Like that's the tier. It's like those are like the 30s receivers, like the guys in the 30s for me.
I have Egbuka at 44.
I have Egbuka at 38, but I'm like, I want to factor in that he could be fine. He's probably not a good play. Like I'm not playing in most cases. I just think I want to factor in that he could have a bounce back game.
Yeah. Like I actually like Coker the most.
Yeah, that's fair. If you want to play Coker, I would personally just go with Harrison. I want the best game environment here.
It's funny because my decision in the Flock League came down to between Coker, I was going to play Trey Tucker over everybody regardless because I do like the matchup against the Giants without Brock Bowers there. But
yeah,
my
I
last flex
definitely
spot
would
was
not play Trey Tucker over those guys.
Really against
No,
the Giants.
I'd play.
No
you have
Bowers?
AD Mitchell on your bench, don't you?
I do.
I'd play AD Mitchell over Trey Tucker.
I have
and
Tucker
Trey
wide
maybe
receiver
doing
32
so.
this week.
Yeah, I mean, he's 44 in the expert rankings. He's 47 in my rankings.
I just think he's too low.
AD Mitchell's 40 in the expert rankings, 38 in my rankings. Like I'd play AD Mitchell over Trey Tucker and sleep like a baby doing it.
I just think, frankly, that Trey Tucker's too low across the board for everybody. Like,
maybe, but like AD Mitchell is like consistently a 25% target share per game player right now.
Sure. In the 3 games without Bowers, we saw Tucker command 5+ targets in each of those games, 60+ yards in 2 of those games, and we do have an advantageous spot going up against the Giants. That's my rationale.
Hey, I know it's an advantageous matchup, but like that's pretty much all he's got, to be honest.
Sure.
Like no Bowers in an advantageous matchup, that's not going to get me there, to be honest. He's fine.
Yeah, Bo, we're good. Yeah, the last, like I feel most confident about Tucker. So the last spot would have been between Coker, Kyle Williams, Adonai Mitchell. Coker I have at 34, Adonai Mitchell I have at 40, Kyle Williams I have at 41 with the news that the 2 receivers are going to be out.
I guess my thought process too, like if you were really feeling gutty about it, I would be fine just going, I'm just going to trust the best team and the best quarterback and play Kyle. I would rather play Kyle Williams over Trey Tucker, to be honest with you.
I don't think that's outrageous. I like Kyle,
but I would play AD Mitchell over both of them. Like I just think the volume is far too high for AD Mitchell right now.
I'm just very worried about the shadow coverage from Christian Gonzalez.
I wouldn't be. Zay Flowers took him to the fucking cleaners last week.
Yeah, Adonai Mitchell is not Zay Flowers.
I mean, Zay Flowers, you always talk about how garbage he is. So
hey, he could separate. It's just actually scoring consequential points.
He's been like a fucking wide receiver 2 in fantasy like half the year.
And then the other half, he's been a wide receiver 4.
No, I'm saying he scored as a wide receiver 2 or better like half the year, if not more.
Yeah, he had a good little stretch in the last 4
He's been
games.
fine, man. He's been fine. Talk too much shit about Zay Flowers.
He's kind of
averaging fucking like 13.3 points per game. That's like a top 24 receiver. That's fine. You took him in the 5th round.
Yeah, sure. He's been exactly like what he's been, though. 1,000 yards, 3 to 5 touchdowns, 150. Like, dude, he's having like a copy paste year to his rookie season.
No, he's having a better year than that.
I mean, there's context because Lamar missed some time, but like it's almost like he's scoring 7 more PPR points in the same amount of games as he is as a rookie.
I guess he's a. What does Zay have on you boys? He's a good player, man. If we got a good season,
we
of
all
Lamar
have our blind
Jackson,
spots.
We get a good season of Lamar Jackson. Zay Flowers has 16 points per game right now. We're not having this conversation.
I mean, I guess he had his happy learn how to putt moment because he scored 2 touchdowns in his last 3 games.
Okay.
One of them with fucking
Sedarian Lamb is averaging 15.3 points per game right now. If Lamar was playing like Lamar last year, Flowers is outscoring him. I guarantee it.
Lamb left the game after 9% of the snaps. That is not fair at all.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
what?
Let me know in the comments. Do you guys think Zay Flowers was a good pick, a bad pick, or neutral in the 5th round where he was going? To me, I would consider him a good pick, considering where everyone else finished that's going around him. Like, everybody else was terrible.
Who was going around him? Let's take a look. So he went in the flock league. Flowers. 6'7". A pick after him was Chris Olave, 6'8".
Okay, yeah. I mean, Chris Olave's been better.
Pearsall, again, he got hurt, so like Zay Flowers better pick.
I mean, that's not even like, we can't even see Pearsall when healthy has been fucking awful. So
I mean, like Waddle and Flowers have basically been the exact same fucking thing.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, in this
Rice,
round, Danny, the only players who've been considerably better are Chris Olave, Emeka Egbuka for a period of time, and Rashee Rice.
Comparable to Stephon Diggs. Comparable. I mean,
Rashee Rice, definitely not comparable to Stephon Diggs.
What do you mean not comparable?
Diggs has been unstartable half the year.
There's like a 20 total point difference between them on the year.
But
like,
Diggs has been unstartable half the year.
Sure, I would rather have Flowers, but like they've basically been the same thing.
I don't know. I would say Swift.
Jawan Jennings.
Olave. No, Jawan Jennings has not been better than fucking Zay Flowers this year. He's been good in the last month.
I mean, he got hurt, and then Jawan Jennings, literally in like the last 8 games, has been demonstrably better.
Again, over the whole season, only Olave, Swift, Egbuka, I would say, and Rice have been comparable, and Waddle as well. Like they've all been fine. But like, look at the 5th round. Look who went in the 5th round: David Montgomery, Calvin Ridley, Romo Dunze, James Conner.
He didn't kill you, but he didn't win anything for you.
I would say of all the mid-round wide receivers, he's been like a top 7, like a 60th, 70th percentile pick in the mid-round wide receivers. The only ones who've been significantly better are like Pickens, Devontae Smith,
Cortland Sutton,
Devontae
Jameson
Adams.
Williams.
Like, he's been like a top 6 or 8 receiver out of the mid-round.
Sure, you hit a double.
But that's all you need in the 6th round. You don't need home runs in the 6th round.
But that's the point. It's like what I'm searching for in the mid rounds versus what you are. Like, yeah, like doubles are fine. Like you do want them mix in the portfolio.
How'd that work out with Hunter, Worthy, and
Sure.
Diggs for your mid round wide receivers?
If I went George Pickens where I went Worthy, like you predicted in the draft log, maybe
you
I would
could
have
argue Pickens was a double, and that's why you didn't take him.
Pickens was a double?
No. His profile was when you took him, you could have argued he was a double and he's been a home run.
Oh, I said the ceiling for Pickens was quite literally what T. Higgins did last year. I literally said that all off.
I don't know why you took Xavier Worthy over him. I'm still very shocked that you didn't take Pickens.
Part of it is because I had CeeDee Lamb and I already drafted Allen. If I didn't draft Allen, I would have tried the double stack Dak Prescott.
Yeah, that's why I didn't factor in that you had Allen when I said that bet with Badaki. But anyways, let's go to the questions that we have here. Jalen Hurts or Trevor Lawrence? I would say this wouldn't have been a conversation for me 2 days ago, but there is some weather concerns. Maybe you factor that into the Trevor Lawrence versus Jalen Hurts. I personally would still start Jalen Hurts, but it would be close. Because at least with Hurts, he runs. So if the weather's bad, he could run the ball.
I'm changing my answer. I had Hurts at 6 and Trevor Lawrence at 9. Against Indianapolis with the way he's been playing, dude.
There's supposed to be light rain in that game, too, for what it's worth.
Fair. Okay, I'll hold off then. I almost moved Trevor Lawrence to 6 because I do think this range of Hurts, Brissett, Purdy, and Lawrence is like, you could argue any of those guys at 6, and I wouldn't fight you.
Yeah, wide receiver has been a fucking train wreck this season. I don't think we read all those whiffs, to be honest. We definitely did not read all of them.
Am I salty?
Oh, I see what you mean. Reading them off, not reading them as in predicting them.
Am I salty, Corey?
Maybe. Could be.
Both think so.
Both thinks you're salty. Maybe he's a Mason minion.
Maybe. I mean, the first thing he asked in chat is if I'm going back to the Flock League, so probably. Don't worry, I'm good, Bo. Minion. I'm good.
Marvin Harrison versus Luther Burden.
I have Harrison higher. If you want to argue Burden, they are similar range from me. It's 36 and 41.
Burden ranked. Let me.
I might have to move Burden up because like I was like ranking him at 41, tentative of like maybe a snaps limitation coming off of a lower body injury, but doesn't really sound like it's indicated that way. I'm gonna move Burden. I would start him over both Colts guys, honestly.
Yeah, I think I would as well. I have him one spot behind Harrison, though.
36 and 37.
Yeah, they're 31 and 32 for Pittman for me.
Yeah, I've thought about on the video just making one clip to kind of like
sign out.
Pretty much. Yeah. I've refused to read them, to be honest.
Which, to be honest with you, Danny, I would just do that as a good policy going forward. To be honest, just stop reading them.
No, all jokes aside, though, I wasn't in the best headspace, and Joe pushed me a little extra that day. And yeah, what he did wasn't consequential in the grand scheme, but to me that day, losing my keys, stressed about the game, it was just the one spot where I was weak-minded. Is the best way to put it.
There you go. Colston Loveland, George Kittle. I mean, you can just go with Loveland, assuming that Kittle plays. You could actually play him because Loveland's a pivot option in that same game. So I would just plan to start Loveland there.
Say Kittle does play. You going Loveland or Kittle?
I would play Kittle. If healthy George Kittle, as long as he's not on like a mad wicked pitch count, like I would probably play Loveland if he. But I think that would be implied. If they say he's going to be on a very big pitch count, then I probably would play Loveland.
Yeah, I think it'd be implied. And in terms, I just see this here because we're talking about Loveland's good conversation. They are number 5 and number 7 in my rankings.
I have Henry over Loveland, so it's not me that he's referring to, I guess.
Yeah, I have Loveland a little bit higher. I like the game environment. I think a lot's at stake with the Bears versus 49ers. And I just trust the routes that we've been seeing from Loveland. If you want to argue Henry because he's been scoring more points, I don't blame you at all. The same tier. DJ Moore sick.
Yeah, Arnold just texted me. Igbuka's going to pop off on my bench, isn't he? Like, probably.
And that's part of it. Like, the thing is, if you crash out in a league, and I'm probably going to make my clip directed at this, I'll be like, if you guys are in the comments saying that you've never crashed out before in your life, you're lying to yourself. The difference between me and you is that when I crash out, it gets broadcasted to all of you guys. When you guys crash out, you guys get trolled in a group chat with your buddies. I've gotten trolled in a group chat with my buddies for a crash out before. So the fact that people are like, we're acting like, oh my God, Danny, you're insufferable, this and that. It's like, you've never crashed out before. If you haven't, fair play. You must be a saint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
We've all crashed out almost weekly. Dude, you know how often I fucking throw shit in my house? Because I'm the clumsiest person on planet Earth, dude. You know how I stub my toe, hit my elbow, bang my knee off of something 3 times a fucking day? Like, I swear to God, I have the most bumps and bruises on my knees, toes, and shins and shit. I get a razor scooter to the shin once a day, it feels like, in my house. Like, I'm the most clumsiest person of all time, and it freaks Maria out because I'll just yell "fuck" at the top of my lungs because I just stubbed my toe like for the 3rd time that day. Yeah,
I will say it feels good to just like let it out sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I shouldn't have let it out at Joe in that instance. I almost said on Joe. Pause. At Joe in that instance. It fucking happens, man. Like I'm known for crashing out, and it's lovable when it's on camera and people can joke, haha, what a crash at this and that. But as soon as people see it over text, they just like change how they react to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. But, Arthur said we're edging on his question, so I had to go to it. Rashee Rice out, Emeka Egbuka bad. George Kittle probably not playing. As crazy as it sounds, I think you didn't play Bill, obviously, which sucks. I think it's still starting Egbuka here. It's still Egbuka.
Dude, I hold on to Colby, and I hope Kittle plays. And if not, I actually don't view a difference between Egbuka and Colby this week.
I think given the I definitely see a difference between Colby and Egbuka this week.
He's a 60% snap
if we got
right now.
Enough of an update being like there's a chance Kittle plays, then and you wanted to do that, then I think that's fair because you have Colby for the pivot option. But I just go Egbuka personally. It's the Dolphins, man. I think that they're gonna be getting going as an offense. But I don't like it. I don't like it. Let me just put it clear here.
So Corey,
I am not starting Emeka Egbuka pretty much anywhere. Is Kittle been ruled out officially? Travis is saying in the chat.
Highly unlikely is the report that I saw.
Yeah, he's not officially ruled out, but he's very unlikely to play.
So Corey, in the last 7 weeks, Colby Parkinson has 4 games with 12 plus fantasy points.
How many of those games did he have to score a touchdown to do that?
Hey, that's part of it though. Care to guess in the last 10 games? How many games Emeka Egbuka has scored 11 plus fantasy points?
Probably less, a lot less. How many games does Colby Parkinson have at least 3 catches and 40 receiving yards?
Corey, just answer the question. In the last 10 games, how many games do you think that Emeka Egbuka has had 11 plus points?
Probably like 3. Yeah, it's bad.
I'm going Colby Parkinson as the pivot and hoping Kittle plays.
He's not gonna, most likely. I think you're just sacrificing the better play, to be honest.
I don't think Parkinson it's the better play.
Has crossed 40 receiving yards and 3 plus catches how many times?
How many snaps did Emeka Egbuka play last week? Colby Parkinson's playing more snaps.
It's not going to continue that way. They already came out and said like repeatedly that was an oversight on their part.
It's
like, I wouldn't be shocked if this is Egbuka's best game in fucking 10 weeks because they basically came out and said that was ridiculous that we didn't use him more.
DJ Moore's out?
DJ Moore out for the game. What?
I don't see that anywhere.
No, it says DJ Moore is questionable. I see.
Oh.
At least that's the most recent report. It says, downgraded to questionable for DJ Moore and Zacchaeus.
I'm kind of ticked off. I dropped Burden in the Flock League.
I'm going to move Loveland up a little bit because of that. I'll move him ahead of Strange.
I have him at 5.
I have him at 7 because Ferguson locked in at 6 for me.
Yeah,
I would still start Hunter Henry and Juwan Johnson over him. I would still prefer those guys. But Loveland definitely a very good play this week. And I'm going to move DJ Moore down from 22. I'm going to move him below Jalen Waddle down at 27. And then I'm going to move Luther Burden up from 35 to 29.
Yeah, I'm moving. I'm going to move DJ Moore. Fuck, some guys got locked in. He has to move down to 25 because Zay Flowers and Ladd got locked in.
That's the challenging thing with Burden and DJ Moore and all these guys that they play at 8:20 tonight. So
Yeah, that's a
people
good
are
point.
like
I'm gonna move him
DJ
down
Moore.
even more.
If you don't have a pivot option, people are going to be curious about what to do with him today. I would say he's probably going to be fine and probably play, but I would downgrade him a little bit.
I moved him to
If the
30
Bucks
and
don't want Ibuka, New England will take him. You already tried to overpay one of our players. I think we're going to hold our guys.
Yeah, he's not officially out, but because it's a Sunday night game, we do have to move him down.
Yeah, because like the only thing I'd be worried about is he gets ruled out last minute and then no one has any idea if he's playing and that kind of thing. Silly
shit.
Sal Pal. Is this a Sal Vetri burner?
Corey, did you see the report from Ian Rappaport?
About what?
Ian Rappaport says that the Giants will evaluate all things this offseason, including a quarterback in the draft. They pick one.
That's a smokescreen, Danny. They want draft interest from other teams so they can trade down.
If you pick one, Jackson Dart's not stopping me from taking Fernando Mendoza.
Jackson Dart is absolutely stopping me from taking Fernando Mendoza. Let's be 100% serious here and say that he's been easily a top 10 quarterback rookie of the last 15 years.
Top 10? No.
Yeah, he has been. He's been that good.
No. I think
Dart's been a franchise talent. Dart had a better rookie season than like the last 5 rookie quarterback first overall picks.
Yeah, I mean, guess what? He could be Bo Nix for that matter. He could even be better than Bo Nix.
Bo Nix threw 30 touchdowns his rookie season.
Yeah,
so
Bo Nix is not
about talking about Bo Nix not being good.
Bo Nix is not stopping you from taking a first overall pick quarterback.
Yes, he is. Absolutely, he's stopping you. Let's be serious for 1 second here.
Philosophy-wise, you have to be swinging on the best quarterback projection there is, and I think
there isn't one better than Dart.
I disagree. I think Fernando Mendoza right now is a better quarterback prospect than Jackson Dart is, even with the acknowledgement of this year.
Okay, so I disagree, but if that's your opinion, you also need to prefer Fernando Mendoza to Jackson Dart and the first overall pick, not just 1-for-1 apples to apples, because you would also then get a first overall player in addition.
You'd be trading Dart in that instance. I'm just saying, like, acting like they can't take a quarterback out one because they have Dart, I think is foolish.
Dart, if I was starting a franchise today, Dart's a top 10 quarterback that I want to start my franchise with.
I disagree. Robert's so innocent. He just wants the questions.
Yes. But anyways, let's keep going here. Jalen Waddle, Brian Thomas Jr., Michael Wilson, or Marvin Harrison. Is this Mike Wilson for you?
Yes, comfortably.
Where do I have Mike Wilson in relation to these other guys, though? Because I am curious. I have Waddle a little bit behind him. I have Brian Thomas quite a bit behind him. Yeah, this is Michael Wilson for sure. I love the talk, boys, for questions. Don't worry. We're getting back on track here. Wish me luck, Danny. This is in the listener league that he's asking me to set his lineup. So first of all, Arthur, you can.
I'm feeling like Lamar right now. My back just shot.
Yeah, Arthur. I remember that stuff I said about Parker Washington being a trap this week. Play him.
Yeah, they could stick with Dart, but acting like that it's a guarantee they would if they had first overall, I think is foolish.
If you want to argue that Mendoza is better than Dart, that's your prerogative. Mendoza is not better than Dart and the first overall pick.
Sure. You also have to keep in mind that they're probably going to have a whole new regime. They're going to have a new head coach next year.
It doesn't matter, dude. You wouldn't trade the first overall pick when you already just drafted a quarterback in the first round who showed a lot of good signs.
He's shown good signs. He also has flaws in the profile. If the next front office doesn't want to build around him, they will be taking their quarterback at 1.
There's no way that any reasonable team would do that. Jackson Dart would fetch a first-round pick on the open market right now.
Okay, then sell him for a first-round pick in that instance. We have to see what the front office wants to do. We don't know who's going to be in charge. It's not going to be Joe Shane. It's who's going to be the head coach next year. Who knows? If they're at first overall and that new regime says, hey, listen, Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore, for that matter, is our guy, it's a possibility that they do, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, that might be very well true, but we don't know that for sure. All we know is what he's done as a rookie without Malik Neighbors the entire season. By the way, he's had Wandale to throw to the entire season, and his starting running back got hurt as well. And his offensive line's been shuffling, and they fired their coach mid-season.
He's had positives.
Serious right now? Like, I've never seen a rookie quarterback with worse around him.
Again, I'm not saying he hasn't had positives, but also acknowledging that he's been perfect this year is flawed. It's a flawed process. He has not been perfect this year. On top of that, if a new front office wants their own quarterback, they will take 1 at 1.
That's just a horrendous take. I'm sorry.
I disagree. I disagree. You're saying there's no possibility the Giants take a quarterback.
Zero. Not one. If they are dumb enough to do that, they deserve to get fired into the sun.
I disagree. If you have a new
Considering
front
what's
office
around him, Jackson
overall,
has been unbelievable this season. Considering what's around him, it's just as good as what Drake has been.
No,
as a rookie. Drake had nothing around him last year. Jackson's been as good or as impressive, I should say, as what Drake was last year when he had nothing around him.
Agree to disagree then. Agree to disagree. I think there's a possibility if they pick first overall, they would take a quarterback because it would be a completely new front office.
It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter if it's a new front office or not. You hire the coach. First of all,
you can
the front office,
disagree.
The owner is not going to hire a fucking GM who doesn't like their quarterback. Point blank, period. That's not happening. They're not absolutely morons that they would fucking be like, oh yeah, I might fucking take a different quarterback. Oh yeah, you're hired.
Yeah.
No,
sure.
You're
acting like Dart is a guarantee to hit, I think is flawed process.
I'm not saying he's a guarantee to hit. I'm saying based on the information you have, you absolutely have to see it through.
Even if you think the value is trading down from one and building around Dart, if you think even the quarterback prospect is a 5% better option to go into next year, go into the future with, you take the quarterback. We've seen that so many times in the NFL.
Get the first pick. It's not just quarterback versus quarterback. You're talking about one of the best assets you can have. The first pick in the draft.
They could very well trade down, but I'm saying there is a non-negative chance if they pick first overall, they would take a quarterback. Because if you're at 1 overall and you have a new front office and a new regime, why would they not take their own guy?
Because you already have a guy who's much better than, literally, exactly.
I think Jackson Dart's as big of a mystery box right now. We acting like he's completely changed all of the narrative on himself. Yes. He still has some flaws.
I never said he didn't.
Okay.
I'm saying he's been substantially better than any quarterback play they've had over the last decade.
But that's what I mean. Acting like he's a guaranteed to hit. If you're at first overall, you have to have the conversation.
You have to have the conversation, yes. But again, it's Dart plus the first pick and whatever you get for a trade down.
But acting like I'm crazy for saying that they could take a quarterback is outrageous.
I think you are, because your whole base for your argument is that they have a new regime when they wouldn't hire said regime if that was their plan.
So if I'm crazy, I mean, Ian Rappaport must also be crazy. He must be.
Yeah.
He must be crazy.
Ian Rappaport is reporting that because the Giants leaked it in hopes that they could generate buzz for the pick. That's how the NFL works.
Or a new regime would actually consider a quarterback if you got first overall pick.
Again, if you don't believe in Dart, that's fine. All I'm saying is I'm not basing this on an Ian Rappaport report because they leak that report to generate positive trade buzz. That's why they leak it.
Sure. I'll give Dart the benefit of the doubt. He's looked solid. He's definitely been above expectation, but acting like there's a 0% chance they would take a quarterback if they got 1 overall is flawed.
Okay. The same could have been said for the Bears last year, that they should have moved on from Caleb Williams. Because Jackson Dart's been significantly better than Caleb Williams was as a rookie.
The difference in traits, dude.
I guess. But
traits. First overall pick.
The last thing I'll say, and then we can move on.
Yep.
Jackson Dart has had a very good rookie season with no Malik Neighbors, with his coach being fired mid-season.
He's had
no offensive line. What is he going to look like when you add stuff around him? And my argument would be he will be a lot closer to Drake May right now than he has been to whatever quarterback you're thinking. Even if he turns into second-year Bo Nix, that's a huge hit.
Dude, he could be Jalen Hurts, and they still could be looking at a quarterback this offseason.
Anyways.
What am I coping on for suggesting that the team that picks the first overall pick could take a quarterback?
Okay, we got to stop talking about this because we've already exhausted it to death. Okay, wide receiver for Arthur. I can't answer this because he's facing me. So this is all you, Danny.
Okay, bet. Out of these options, I have Parker the highest. Kyle Williams is the highest upside. You're in an up advantage in your matchup, I believe. He's what?
He is. He's projected to win right now.
65% win equity. There's 5 spots separating them. If you want the upside, you can go Kyle, but I do have Parker slightly higher.
Okay, I'll give him Parker because I think he's probably the person I would go with as well.
And then
in the flex, I think he's double tight ending. I think he wants to do the Strange.
The tight end premium, you have to go Strange.
Yeah, I mean, does it change your opinion on whether or not you'd start Parker, knowing that you're also starting Strange? Would you lean Kyle instead of that?
Knowing that you have ETN and Strange, and there could be weather delays, maybe you do opt to go Kyle Williams instead. Then.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not too worried about the weather. And
Corey's got his poker for what it's worth. Face. I'm playing for 3. I played in 8 semifinals last week, 6 or 7 of them as the favorite. and lost a couple monsters in the semifinal, unfortunately. But that is the nature of the playoffs, and sometimes you're going to lose teams that are 12-2, 300 plus more points than anybody else.
Yeah,
Happens.
yeah. No, I think that's fair. I was in 9 semifinals last week, and I'm in 4 championships now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, culture. This is all I'm saying. Like acting like there's a 0% chance is my problem with it.
Again, I think he's been enough of a hit that there'd be a 0% chance given the investment that they put. Anyways.
Yeah. Respectfully, Santa, if you're going to be talking like that, you're never going to come back to the channel again. If that's the first thing I'm reading from one of your comments, you're gone.
Danny, you got to stop being so soft about this, man.
I'm not soft. I'm not soft. That's the first time I've ever seen his name on this channel, and he's talking shit in the chat.
It's true, but like, what does it matter? Who cares?
It doesn't matter. But hey, if you're going to come into chat and think you can say whatever, and you've never said anything else in the chat, I will take you out of it.
I guess whatever. I don't really care that much. You can say whatever the fuck you want about me in the chat. Seattle Seahawks or Steelers defense. Okay, so Seattle going up against Bryce Young today, who's been really good as of late, and then Steelers defense against the Browns. They're both on the road, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Steelers more to play for because Baltimore won.
I also think that Bryce kills you a lot more than Shadur does in a scenario where the defense duds and has 2 points. Like I think Bryce could fry you for 30 points.
I just think Seattle's so much better of a defense.
Do that.
I think Seattle's so much better of a defense, though.
I know that's a tough thing.
I probably lean with Seattle and Borregales.
Yeah, definitely going Borregales there. He's one of the best kickers this week for sure. I think I would go with Steelers and Borregales, but it's close as hell, man. That is really, really close. Okay, Bryson here. Quarterback. It's 2 quarterback leagues, so he's got 2 of these that he's got to start. You're going Baker and Brissett, I think, right? Are you going Shuck over Mayfield?
You can argue it, to be honest.
You can argue it. I wouldn't, but you can argue it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I have Shuck at 17 and Mayfield at 13, but they're both in the same tier. I wish I had Willis higher. I had Willis at 18, and I thought I was pretty optimistic. I wish I moved him higher.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Barkley is going to be in your lineup very easily. ETN is going to be in your lineup very easily. Wide receiver wise, we're looking at Puka Nacua is going to be in your lineup. Jamar Chase is going to be in your lineup. JMO already locked in. You didn't play Kelsey, so I would go Strange. That's pretty straightforward for me. In the flex, I think Gainwell's probably got to be one of them.
And Myers.
And then I think, okay, so I would go Swift over Myers, I think.
I'd
go Gainwell Swift, but if you wanted to go Swift Myers, I think that would be fair too.
I would go Swift over Gainwell. Gainwell versus Myers is close. That's like wide receiver 19 versus RB 20.
Yeah, that's close, man. I think I would just trust the touches of the running backs here. And knowing that Myers is in a receiver core where BTJ could get the targets or Washington could get the targets or Strange could get the targets, I think I would probably just lean with Gainwell, who's got a pretty solidified floor and ceiling like we've seen the last couple of games.
Assuming it would have changed to Myers if the Ravens had lost last night.
Yeah, it would have, yeah. Bijan and Jonathan Taylor, pretty straightforward for those running backs. Garrett Wilson's obviously on IR. Jameson Williams, if you didn't play him, which
I would have said to play him, so good thing you didn't.
I don't think I would have with these two guys.
Dude, with how JMO's been playing, you definitely would have played him. I think that's definitely hindsight bias.
No, going into the week, I had Mike Evans ranked ahead of him and Drake London. So it wasn't hindsight bias. I had Evans 11 and 8.
Hey, it worked out for you, but that was wild coming in. The guy was averaging like 20 points.
No, it wasn't wild coming in when the Vikings were literally the best defense in football against wide receivers over the last 2 months of the season.
38 targets in his last 4 games. He didn't pay off, sure, but Goff completely fucking fumbled.
Yeah, that was worked out for you. I said it in the quarterback tier list that Goff could have a horrible game in this one.
It worked out for you, brother. You could take your victory lap. I just think it was a bad process.
Maybe. Tyler Warren there is the tight end because Kittle looks like he's not going to go. Again, assuming you did not play Jameson Williams, that leaves you open to play these other guys. I think I'd go Harrison and Burden here. And then Burden, you could always pivot to Kittle if he does play because Burden's playing on Sunday night.
Do you go Harrison or Monangai?
I would play Harrison over Monangai.
Okay. Just because like the snaps
I play against Monangai today, so he's probably going to snap off against me, but
He started JMO, by the way.
49ers can't stop the run. So like it wouldn't shock me if Swift and Monungai are both really solid.
Get JMO in, because I would have also said to start JMO, and it sounds like he started JMO.
Okay, so if he started JMO, let's put JMO in for London, and we'll put London in for I'll put him in for Burden for now. You going Burden or you going Marvin Harrison?
So I go with Burden here.
You also get the flexibility then if Kittle does play, you could pivot to Kittle in the flex.
Yeah, and I guess too, like maybe you're gonna have more insight on London too, like his status. It sounds like he's gonna play, but like you'll know more insight by Sunday night. Worst case scenario, you have to throw in like a Monungai there because Kittle and him would be out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could put Burden in the wide receiver spot or whatever, Burden and Monungai in the two flexes if you needed to.
Yep.
Okay, let's go to X-ray here. Hey, y'all need another running back. Would y'all trade a late second for Gainwell or Tracy? My starter is Sampson.
I don't think those two guys are evident enough upgrades for this week to give up a second, knowing that Sampson's probably going to be within 8 spots.
If you were like, my starter is Corum or something, then I'd be like, then I'd be okay doing it. And I think that in a vacuum, a late second for Tracy is a pretty good offer, because I think Tracy could start the season as the starter next year as well when Scadaboo's coming back from the injury. But if you got Sampson, I just roll with Sampson. I think he's not that much worse of a projection than those two guys.
I agree.
Arthur here with a wide receiver question. It looks like Teteroa McMillan versus Diggs and Wandale. I think I'd go T-Mac still.
I have McMillan, Diggs, Wandale, that order.
Okay. And then in the flexes here, looks like he didn't start Bill. I think that Ken Walker's got to be one of these, to be honest.
And Diggs probably.
And then, or are you going Diggs and Wandale? Or are you going Ken Walker with one of those? I think it's not outrageous to go Wandale and Diggs.
So I have Wandale at wide receiver 22. I have Walker at RB 25. I probably have to move Walker up, actually.
Walker's a great play this week, but it wouldn't like in full PPR. If you wanted to say you'd start Wandale's floor over Walker's floor, I think that's kind of the argument there. I think Walker evidently has a higher ceiling. However, I'd be worried that Walker drops 4 points because Walker can do that.
Yeah, it's close. It's definitely Walker versus Wandale. The issue I will bring up for the Giants is we only saw 13 passing attempts from Dart last week, and both teams are actually motivated to lose this game.
This is actually correct, by the way. Jags and Indy are in a dome.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I'm like, wait, why would Weather?
I did mention it because I saw somebody tweet it out today.
Oh,
I just was like, oh yeah, there might be weather in that game, but then I didn't even clock in that it's in Indianapolis, not in Jacksonville.
Bet James, if you submit it to the site, we'll see. Just let us know what your username is.
Yeah, I think I'd go Walker and Diggs, but again, Wandale's floor would be much higher, so that would be if you want to play for the floor.
There's an extra flex, he said.
Oh, there's an extra flex. Okay, well, if there's an extra flex, then I mean you play Wandale, Diggs, and Walker in the flexes.
Yeah, I would go Diggs over both those options.
Yes, Diggs over both. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, there was an extra. Okay, so there's only one that he can start. Yes, Diggs over both. Diggs over both.
Also, James is Lone Star. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on you.
Okay, Dak Shots, crazy fucking username. Jawan Johnson over Michael Mayer pretty easily for me there. Dylan Sampson, Michael Wilson, and Trevion Henderson. Henderson and Wilson pretty easily, right?
Yeah, locked and loaded.
Big dumps after Dak Shots is pretty wild. Bucky versus Henderson at flex, Loveland versus Tungus at tight end. So pretty straightforward. I'm going Loveland over Tungus, especially knowing that you also have Kittle. So if worst case scenario, the things change, you could play Kittle instead of Loveland.
So let me ask you this though. Kittle gets announced he's semi-limited. DJ Moore gets announced he's limited too with the illness. Would you go Loveland over Kittle if Kittle played limited?
Because it depends how limited the comment is. Like, is he on a pitch count? Or is he eased in? Like, I don't really know exactly how to answer that question until I see the exact wording of the report.
Yeah, these usernames.
Yeah, literally.
Well. Dude, my back is fucked right now.
Do you know when your gut is telling you, like screaming at you that you should do something?
Yes.
My gut is screaming at me that I should put Emeka Egbuka in my lineup against Arthur in the listener redraft. And the reason I say that is because I need the
Arthur's
ceiling.
Like pumping his fits.
I need the ceiling though. That's why my gut is telling me to do it.
Damn, the Bucks fan wants to start the Bucks player, Arthur.
Like, tell me why I'm nuts though.
You're
Dang,
nuts
I'm
because
not
he
even
hasn't.
kidding you. 6 different times they've said they need to get him the ball this week.
You're nuts because he hasn't scored more than 11 points in 9 of his last 10 games.
Right, but my other option is Michael Carter, Danny. It's not like I'm deciding between like some random bum.
Do what you got to do, brother. Do what you got to do.
I think Mech is going to go off today. I don't know why.
I know why.
No, I'm not. I swear to God, I'm taking my fan bias out of this. It's not that I think he actually projects well. Miami is not good against tertiary wide receivers. They usually are good against your X, which is Mike Evans.
Hey, unbiased might be a gut feeling, but I think Malik Davis is going to be a league winner next year.
If he didn't play for the Bucks, I'd be saying the same thing.
I'm fucking with you. This is Hendo, though.
I'll leave. Michael Carter. Yes, it's Hendo. And Michael Carter or Emeka Egbuka. Honestly, like honest question. Chat. Michael Carter or Emeka Egbuka. I will take my complete fan bias out of it. I will let you decide. I will do exactly what you say. Emeka Egbuka or Michael Carter. Keep in mind, I am also starting Michael Wilson. So there's 2 Cardinals in my lineup if I start Michael Carter. Just FYI.
I've been good for a while, Crypto. I just I needed a break from clips.
Yeah. Bob Squad here in the flex. Ironically, he has Emeka Egbuka and Michael Carter in this question.
I like Coker over both.
Yeah, I do not. I like Godwin over all of them. Personally.
Oh, I didn't see Godwin. I have Godwin the highest.
I would go Godwin over all of them. And then I think I'd go Samson over the other guys too.
Yeah, like I would go Godwin plus Coker, but if you want to go with Samson, I'm cool with that too. Actually, yeah, I would go Samson over Coker. What am I talking about? RB27 versus wide receiver 34.
Yeah, I agree.
That's close though.
That's the direction I would go with it as well. The great baboon. Brian Thomas Jr., Jalen Coker, Emeka Egbuka. That appears to be it. I think you go Brian Thomas Jr. pretty easily here, right?
Yeah, I agree.
BTJ, Coker, and Egbuka, and Kyle Williams, and those guys, probably nothing too exciting there. And again, also another part of my decision for Egbuka versus Carter is that I am currently 30% projected to win. So
yeah, go Chuba.
I'm not going to go Chuba. But Arthur is ahead of me in the projections because Amon-Ra and Jefferson decided to put like 20 points up combined.
I mean, you could also go Goddard in a tight end premium.
I don't trust Goddard this week. I don't.
Dude, I hope he's. You're also starting Devontae Smith, fair.
I am starting Devontae Smith. Goddard's got bad weather and the absolute best defense in the league.
James is Lone Star. I don't see him, so
he's coming up in a second.
Okay,
we got some time. The only question in Terp's question here is Colston Loveland. Maybe he's asking about Kittle. I would say just go with Colston Loveland. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that question there, Terps. And then Lone Star is the last question here. All right. I just said just need help with tight end. Yeah, Terps in the question only Colston Loveland was showing. So in the chat, just type who you were deciding.
Yeah, who was your other for you? Who was your other? Since you're in here, we can easily get that for you.
So T-Mac in the flex versus
context. By the way, he said something about like being nervous about T-Mac. I believe.
I wouldn't be nervous about T-Mac considering your other options. You didn't start Ladd McConkey. You're not going to start Chris Godwin over him. You're not going to start Loveland in the flex over him. You're not going to start Pittman or McLaurin. You didn't start, I'd imagine. Jones, you didn't start, I'd imagine. So yeah, T-Mac to me is the best option here.
I agree.
T-Mac downgraded him a little bit, not much, like 4 spots in my wide receiver rankings. It's got to be factored in, but not by a ton.
Yeah, and I do have Loveland slightly higher than Henry, but like they're same tier. If you want to go Henry, I'm not arguing at all.
Yeah. Okay. Lone Star has another flex question here.
I would have said Aaron Jones.
If he has another, maybe he didn't submit this properly because he only asked about T-Mac in the chat. But of the rest of these options, I guess it's Pittman versus Godwin versus Jawan versus Loveland. You're going to go Loveland over those guys?
Yeah.
I would.
Jawan was there too.
Jawan over Loveland.
I was looking at the flexes. My apologies. I actually didn't see Jawan. I have Jawan at 4 and Colston Loveland at 5. So I actually do prefer Jawan.
Yeah, I would go with Jawan there as well.
I was just looking at the running backs and receivers.
Let me really quick. I just want to pull up my just to give people an idea of like rankings and stuff. I'm going to pull up our expert average tier list just so everybody can see, like, in case they have some last minute questions. They can
more insight. DJ Moore and Olamide Zaccheaus, true game time decisions.
True game time decisions. Okay. Well, because it's the last week of the season, I'm just going to leave this right on the, would you bench Henry for Juwan? That's another part of this question as well, I guess, for James. Danny, would you just not play Hunter Henry in the tight end spot and play Juwan?
I would go with Juwan and Loveland.
You'd go with Juwan and Loveland? So I would still want to play Hunter Henry, so I would go with Juwan and Henry.
Well, I had Loveland ranked higher than Henry already, but if DJ Morris especially is out.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's close, man. All those tight ends are such great options. Loveland or Tungus, yeah, go with Loveland there, Terps. I like Tungus, he's fine, but I probably wouldn't rank him much higher than like tight end.
Are these your rankings or the average?
Huh?
Are these your rankings?
These are my rankings because I can't actually pull up the average in the tier list format, like where it shows like this.
Here, you know what I'll do? I'll show mine on my screen too, and we can just like span to them and like give people. Because like if we didn't answer your question, at least you can see our rankings.
Yeah. You guys can see our rankings here. I'll quickly go over mine. You can see my QB rankings are as follows. Again, I do have Josh Allen still in a tier of his own, but if you want to start May, Burrow, or Stafford or one of those guys, I don't blame you just because of the weather. That's the only reason why. I'm not really worried about the foot, not really worried about the matchup, just the weather. If you're worried about the weather, I think that's fair. But I do still prefer Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, Prescott, Hurts, Brissett, Lawrence, the next tier. Williams, unfortunately, Goff, who locked in there. Justin Herbert, who unfortunately locked in there. And that tier of quarterbacks there. If you needed to dig deep, Shuck and Willis were my favorite two guys that I talked about earlier in the week, Darnold and those guys down the board. And then I can go through my running backs and show you guys those. Again, pretty straightforward. Those are the top elite guys. These guys are all RB1s, mid guys. And then the guys that you're deciding between, I'd imagine there's a lot of Gainwell. What are you doing? There's a lot of Gainwell, Tracy, Walker, Dowdle, etc. questions. That's how I would rank them. And then Carter, Sampson, Warren, Bill, and those guys. Like Sampson versus Carter, I think will be a question for some people. I do prefer Carter.
Yeah, I thought we were going to go position by position because I had.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to go through quarterbacks and running backs because I didn't know you were ready.
Quarterbacks here. I had Allen and May in my top tier. That May's the only person I could personally start over Allen if you're worried. Dak locked in at 3. Good game against Washington. Burrow, Stafford, Hurts, Brissett, Purdy, Lawrence, Williams. Again, very wide tier, but I also think those are like the locked in starting options. These guys, thank God Goff was in the top 10 quarterback for me, but I did give him a little bit more benefit of the doubt because of how good he's been. Fortunately, he kind of PP'd, but 11, could have had him at like 7 or something, so I'm happy there. Knicks, Mayfield, Stroud, Dart, Herbert, and Shuck. Malik Willis here. Again, I wish I did have higher, but that's probably higher than a lot of people had him on the site, was at 18, so I'll take it. Darnold, Cousins, Geno, Bryce Young, Aaron Rodgers. And realistically, these guys are probably not entering your lineup unless you're in a deep super flex with like a start 12, 13, and you probably had injuries. You're mentioning running backs. My top 4 pretty clear: McCaffrey, Gibbs, Bijan, Achane.
Yeah, I mean, like those guys everyone knows to start. The only ones that people are probably concerned with is C through E tier.
Yeah, okay, so we'll go down to it. Top 14 guys, they're going to be in everybody's lineups. Next year was Harvey, Swift, and Irving. Giving Irving a little bit benefit of the doubt. This should be a good game script for him. I'm just a little bit concerned because he hasn't been getting consequential touches in the receiving game, and also Sean Tucker's been siphoning the goal line touches. Harvey gets there in the end, good workload, ends up scoring a touchdown. I think the process is pretty clean there because they were 2 touchdown favorites. Jacobs, this is looking ugly. Henry behind Jacobs. First of all, if I looked at it a little bit more, I probably would have switched that.
Yeah, I should have had Henry higher too. I think I had him at like 15.
I was scared about Huntley.
Something like that.
I was scared about Huntley. That's really what it came down to. But hey, if you started Henry, which you still would have as a top 20 option, in 95% of scenarios.
Yeah, everyone was starting him anyways.
Walker, Warren, Tracy, Marks, Jones, Dowdle, Hall, JCM, Pollard, Stevenson, Carter, Monungai, Corum, Pacheco, Wilson, Spears, P. Ryan, Charbonnet, Estime, and Hubbard. You want to scan through wide receivers quick?
Yeah, go through your wide receivers quick times.
Top 3 pretty clear: Puka, JSN, Chase, locked and loaded.
You got 1 minute because I got to go through mine too.
The guys that played on Thursday. This next tier of guys I classify as wide receiver 1, Sutton was playing well coming into the game. Down game, of course. Evans, Wilson, Jawan Jennings, Myers, Diggs, Smith, Tedrow, McMillan, Wandale, Jalen Waddle, Brian Thomas Jr., Terry McLaurin. As you guys can see, the guys 25 on. I would say realistically up to here is where I'd feel comfortable starting my lineup. If you're at the Dobbs already played. If you're at the Shaheed, Keenan Allen, etc. range, I would opt towards playing a running back or even in a tight end. And
Cody, yes, you can. By the way, site subscribers are able to see this view just by hitting this little thing over here at the top.
the little box.
If you go from this view to this view, you can see it. But yeah, wide receiver wise, again, very similar. These guys are all must starts. C tier, probably all must starts for a lot of you guys as well. D tier is where all the decisions are to be made. I think Burden, Godwin, Harrison, those type of guys are some of the better ones. And then Franklin, Samuel, those guys locked into my lineup. Pierce, that's where I have Igbuka. That's where I have Washington. I'm sure he'll be a topic of conversation for a lot of people. That's where I have Coker. Probably a lot of questions about him. Downs, Kyle Williams is there. Trey Tucker is there. And then quickly, tight end wise, you got Fannin and Pitts as the must starts. Johnson, Henry, Loveland, Strange, Goddard, Schultz, Warren. A lot of people are going to have questions about that. Taysom Hill here, Kincaid there. So Jake Tungus, for whatever reason, is not in our site. I don't know why, but if you were wondering where Jake Tungus would slot in, he would slot in right behind Taysom Hill for me, right here at 13.
I would have him at 16 or 17, right after like the Mayer, Warren, and Barner.
Yeah, he's interesting, man. I don't really trust Kincaid. I don't really trust Parkinson. I don't really trust Barner. So I think that Tungus, given the offense projection for the 49ers, I feel very good about him. But I did decide officially to go with Michael Carter over Emeka Egbuka. A lot of you guys were saying Carter by $1 million, and I looked at it. I'm like, you know what? He's playing the friggin' Bengals, dude. The Bengals this season have allowed 1,900 rushing yards and top 6 in targets and yards receiving. So I feel like I just gotta do it. I gotta do it. Go with Michael Carter. But if Emeka Egbuka has 30 points today, don't tell me my gut was wrong ever again.
That's the cope that he has, because like
it is. I could still claim that I'm right. I could still claim that I'm right regardless, even if I didn't actually trust my own gut. And you know what? I talked about mistakes to avoid in your championships, and I may have just avoided, or I may have just done the exact mistake. Your gut. But it's hard because when your gut is a player that you loved pre-draft who's on your favorite team, you're worried if your gut is clouded. So that this is a one-time example of me taking exception to my own gut opinion. It's Egbuka. I'm biased on the guy.
Especially for me when my gut's been wrong all year, apparently. No, I'm kidding.
My gut's been pretty good in this league, especially in the listener redraft league. My gut told me to go hard after Michael Wilson on the waiver wire. My gut told me to pick up Juwan Johnson when he became available. Like I was pretty good at especially waiver pickup stuff where I was like, this is a guy I need to be going to get. Anyways, good luck in your matchups, everybody. It's 1 p.m. Good luck. Hopefully you take it down. Hopefully if you're in any best ball tournaments, you score highly. Hopefully you move on and win your championships, except for you, Arthur, because I'm playing against you. But everybody else, hopefully you guys cook. And yeah, we're going to go probably quite a bit lighter on the content in the coming weeks because we need a bit of a break from grinding fucking 50, 60 hours a week every single day of the week. But yeah, we will be getting into Dynasty content and rookie content very, very shortly. But first comes a little bit of a rest and relaxation. Week 18, we're going to be in Buffalo at some point next week doing playoff best ball drafts. We'll probably be live for that. And then also too, I need to do bookkeeping for our company. So that will also take me 4 or 5 days to do that. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Good luck. Hopefully you win. Enjoy the 7 hours of red zone football coming up. Peace out.
Peace out.